Evening, everybody. Thanks for joining us here at 6. Hoyt alongside Jurnee Taylor and meteorologist Nathan Scott.
Yeah, Nathan, we got some rain yesterday. Pretty heavy in some areas, light in others. We're done with the weather impact alert, right? So are we in the clear of rain, or should we still have our eyes out?
We're not in the clear of rain.
Okay.
We're going to have the opportunity of spotty to scattered showers and thunderstorms over the next several days. Out there today, we had lots of clouds with some breaks of sunshine from time to time. Right now, you see those clouds still lingering across a large part of the state of Arkansas. 76 is the number in Little Rock, 78 in Arkadelphia, 79 in Monticello, only into the 60s in North Arkansas. This evening, we're primarily dry in central Arkansas. All the showers are still lined up along southeast Arkansas, where right around McGee, you had a little shower, and all the activity trying to push its way into Mississippi for the most part. So the best chance of an isolated shower, maybe a thunderstorm, will be into southeast Arkansas, maybe isolated shower anywhere else, but that chance is less than, I would say, 10%. Then going into the overnight, expect partly cloudy to mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures tonight will drop down into the low to mid 60s, upper 50s in those cooler locations of the Ozarks. And tomorrow will go for highs primarily staying below 80 degrees. That's because lots of clouds, partial sunshine. Primarily, it'll be a dry day. Small chance of an isolated shower, but later in the day, South Arkansas, there's going to be a line of showers and thunderstorms rolling its way in here from Louisiana. I'll have a look at future radar on that situation and let you know what to expect for your Memorial Day weekend, temperature-wise, and also the chance of rain coming up.
Nathan, thank you. Members of the Arkansas NAACP are on the road taking part in what's being called a Southern Day of Action.
They're in the Mississippi state capitol, where lawmakers there are the latest in the region to explore redrawing congressional maps. Protests have sprung up across the South since last month's Supreme Court ruling that limited part of the Voting Rights Act.
That decision reversed a lower court ruling that Mississippi lawmakers had diluted black voting power with maps that they drew a few years ago. And that reversal now has neighbors here in Arkansas worried about future elections.
It's so important for right now for me to be here today is because of this young man right here. That's my 12-year-old son who traveled with me up here to speak for him, to speak for other people who don't have voice, who are trying to speak loud and clear so they can choose who they want to elect, right? And that's so important to us.
Here in Arkansas, judges have dismissed all the most recent redistricting cases filed in the state.
Meanwhile, the young man who made headlines by becoming the youngest black mayor in the country says he's running for re-election. That's out in Earl. Jalen Smith took office in the East Arkansas city at age 18. He made the announcement today despite being under investigation by state police for alleged inappropriate contact with a minor. But he says there is still more work to do, including creating jobs and improving neighborhoods. And the mayor of the state's largest city is joining the growing chorus, now calling for tighter controls when it comes to building huge data centers. Mayor Frank Scott Jr. wants an ordinance to strengthen zoning restrictions on those giant buildings that power AI. Carter Thweet relays what the mayor now wants on the books.
Well, this area is in East Little Rock, near the community of Sweet Home, south of the Little Rock Airport. And despite some controversy, it is probably going to become a Google AI data center. When I talked with Mayor Frank Scott Jr., he said some stricter regulations need to be in place before that happens.
The residents of Little Rock, the concern, the contention that they had for data centers here in the city, in this region, in the state.
Mayor Frank Scott Jr. says he's heard those concerns. It's why he made an announcement Tuesday that he's proposing stronger regulations for AI data centers in the Little Rock area. These centers are popping up across the country as companies look to keep up with the AI boom, but critics say they use too much power and water.
We want to put guardrails in place to protect against excess usage of water, any cost shifting from an electricity standpoint or a water standpoint, because we know that families are very concerned about their dollar.
The mayor's proposal would apply to any data centers larger than 250,000 square feet that use more than 50 megawatts of power. Google's proposed center meets both qualifications, meaning it would be subject to the mayor's proposal if it passes.
It's my role to guide and provide policy It's the city board members' role to vote it up or down.
The proposal will be discussed at the next city board meeting June 2nd. It would require data centers that meet the size and power requirements to be located in industrial areas with large buffer zones between them and any other property. They would also need to have a noise monitor on a publicly available website and provide plans for responsible usage of water and electricity.
What we want to do, again, is protect the residents of Little Rock, regulate data centers from a hyperscale standpoint, but also strike the right balance for sustainable economic development as we move forward here in the city of Little Rock.
Now, one thing Mayor Scott said multiple times today is that the city does not have the authority to outright ban these large hyperscale data centers. That's because of a state law, Act 851 of 2023. He said that this proposal, which is currently being put into official legal language by the city attorney, is the next best option. In Little Rock, Carter Thweet, THV 11 News.
All right, Carter, thank you. And the mayor's call follows a similar push from Wendell Griffin, the Democratic nominee to be the next Pulaski County judge. A data center is slated to be built near Wrightsville in the county, just south of Little Rock city limits.
Healthcare leaders in Arkansas are raising new concerns about access to care, especially in rural communities. Just in the last few months, Baptist Health closed its labor and delivery unit in Fort Smith, while Unity Health shut down its emergency room in Jacksonville. State leaders say low reimbursement rates are pushing many hospitals to the brink. A topic discussed during Tuesday's Public Health, Welfare, and Labor Committee meeting.
The reality is that hospitals are closing. And we can't ignore that reality for some fear that a large corporation with billions of dollars in assets is saying is going to increase costs. We as a community have to decide who are we going to believe and what are we going to get behind.
Matt Troop warns more hospitals could close without action, while State Representative Jeff Wardlaw says Arkansas has some of the lowest reimbursement rates in the country.
Well, tonight, tenants at a Jacksonville senior apartment complex say broken elevators are creating serious accessibility issues.
Yeah, people using walkers and wheelchairs have been complaining for months. And tonight, in a THV 11 investigates, our Tanya Motoziski visits the property and management called the cops.
What Jacksonville Towers residents say was a nice senior citizen community.
When I moved in here 3 years ago, this was perfect.
Lucia Cole says that's no longer the case.
You can see nothing has been done.
She says the building has 2 elevators, but both have had issues for months.
Since March, the middle of March, it had broken down.
She says management told them the elevators would be fixed, but that still has not happened, leaving residents in wheelchairs or walkers waiting or stranded on their floors.
Some people take the stairs, some people just wait.
Cole says these constant issues are forcing her to move out by the end of the month. With no working elevator, she says she cannot get her belongings out of her apartment.
And then he's telling us that we can leave the stuff here until the elevators get fixed. So where are we going to be sleeping at? While he's sleeping in the bed, where are we going to sleep at? Where are we going to sit at? Because our furniture is here.
And showed me furniture left in the hallway from other residents because they can't get it upstairs. And in the one working elevator,
We have people on wheelchairs. Here go one.
Cole also says there's no updated code inspection report posted.
They don't have nothing. No nothing.
While I was at the towers as Cole's guest asking questions about the elevators, the property manager came out and told me to leave and called Jacksonville police to issue a trespass warning.
They're saying they want you trespassed, so they're requesting us give you a trespass warning. Just saying that you can't come back here.
Right, even though I was invited by a resident?
They don't want anybody from the news coming over here.
Jacksonville Towers is operated by the Elderly Housing Development and Operations Corporation. I reached out to the company and the U.S. Department of Housing Urban Development for a comment. I did not get a response. But according to the city of Jacksonville, the fire department inspected the elevators last month and determined they needed to be replaced, and says $70,000 in HUD and state funding was approved for repairs and are ordering parts. In Jacksonville, I'm Tanya Motorzitsky, THV 11 News.
Tanya, thank you. If you need us to pay that ticket, we'll gladly pass the hat around here. But we did want to hear from the city's code enforcement department to find out whether that one working elevator is safe. Tanya called, but she's still waiting for an answer. We'll let you know when they do.
Here's the thing. If you have something you want our team to look into, of course, you can give us a call at THV11 Investigates. That phone number is 501-590-4630, and you can leave a message. Or you can email our team at investigates@thv11.com.
Oh, in Arkansas, National Guard families face a tornado, a house fire, a sudden loss. They can ask for help while in uniform. After the break, how a foundation steps in with emergency relief and now is trying to build a place to celebrate.
Memorial Day weekend is almost here. Don't cancel any plans. Yes, I do have thunderstorm icons Saturday through Memorial Day, but it's going to be very isolated to spotty in nature and then maybe more scattered for Sunday into Monday. But some folks over the next 7 days could see significant rainfall. I'll have the latest information on that coming up.